Let's face it, in my opinion, 2024 has been the worst year for fly fishing in Nova Scotia that I can remember. It's been hot and dry, so it's affected the spring, summer and fall salmon run and the summer sea trout run. I've had a lot of days where I've not seen a fish or got a bite in places I normally do well. So instead of picking a spot and fishing it for a day, I find myself actually hunting for fish. What I mean by this is, I'll go to a spot, give it 15 minutes to half an hour, and if there's no action, I move on and not waste time. With that in mind, I'm heading to my first spot, and that's South Cove. From the beginning of the season to the end of October, I could always count on catching fresh run trout and sometimes even a salmon. But without exaggeration, I've fished this spot at least a dozen times this year and not even got a bite. But I can only hope this section has gained some momentum. Armed with my trusty orange shrimp, I gave it 15 minutes and got no bites and not seen any fish rising. Time to move on. The next spot is Orangedale. Still part of the Brador Lakes in the River Denny's Basin. I had some success here in the spring, but nothing like previous years. Again, using the orange shrimp, I get into my usual spot and start my run. A few casts in different directions and a couple of steps to my left, then repeat this. From start to finish, this stretch takes about half hour. I can usually pick up 1 or 2 fish in that time, but not even a bite today. On the road again, I stop at River Denny's. I've had days here where I've caught nothing, and another day I caught 8 fish in 42 minutes. They were all brook trout and never any fresh run. This is a small pool, so I put on my favorite fly, the one and only, then start to work the pool as usual with casting to the left under the trees and drawing the line back, then the middle and over to the right, making sure I cover as much area as possible. I was optimistic as we got a bit of rain. After several casts I was thinking about heading to another spot, and finally I hooked into my first fish of the day.
Hey, Sean.
He's a nice fish. This justifies giving this pool another 15 minutes or so. Back to working the pool a bit more. The 15 minutes passed, and that had me heading to my next spot. My next stop is the Southwest Margaree. I started fishing this spot this year with not much luck, but had seen several fish jump and it looked like a great wee spot. A few minutes into it, I hooked a small one and got it in a net.
Fish on.
Oh. Again, that justified spending a bit more time exploring this river to see if there are any other pools. It was quite shallow with the dry few months, but as I waded downriver I could see there was lots of potential. The wind was picking up, so I waded down the centre of the river, making short casts to each side. It was not to be. After a half hour, no more bites, no fish rising. I gave this spot a good go, but time to move on. My next destination was the main section of the Margaree. I had some success earlier this season before they closed the Margaree down mid-July. The river was just opened back up a couple of days ago, mid-September, for the last couple of weeks of the trout season. Standing in the wash pool, I could see how shallow it was. Although I didn't see any salmon moving, I didn't want to interfere with the ones heading up to spawn through the shallow section. I called it quits after about 10 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, leave comments, and last but not least, subscribe to my channel so you can join me in all of my fishing adventures, wherever they may take me. Until next time, have a great day, stay safe, be kind, and tight lines.